Sarada is going to be kidnapped and used as a tool to kill Boruto. Yeah, no intro and no beating around the bush. I'm Nim without the E. Here's the full story of chapter 34 of Boruto, 2 Blue Vortex. But please help me get 100 likes or 1k hype points. Thanks a lot, guys. Chapter 34 is titled Used to It and Code, which is the cover for this chapter. And yep, just as we predicted a few days ago, and on this cover, the narrator also added a line that roughly translates to the silent flames of vengeance. Picking up from the battle between Konoha and Mamushi, the chapter opens with Mamushi's Togadama already in Boruto's hands. At this point, Kawaki still doesn't understand or grasp the concept of the Togadama, especially what to do with it. But at least Boruto simply explains that if the Togadama is left alone for a few minutes and ends up rotting, then the original person or the model of the divine tree human will die. Meanwhile, Inojin, who had previously been unconscious after both his eyes were destroyed due to a heroic sacrifice to end this invasion, finally wakes up with normal eyes and is even able to see as before, thanks to Himawari. Naturally, seeing this makes Himawari look very happy. However, amidst the end of this invasion, with Ida fine thanks to Daemon, and Konohamaru and Chocho taking Sarada to the hospital along with the others, Koji, through the toad on Boruto's shoulder, realized one crucial thing. It was about Code. I mean, Code has a mission to kill Boruto, but looking at the situation in the middle of this battle, he hasn't shown up at all. Yet despite that fact, every part of the divine tree's body bears claw marks. And that means there's a high likelihood Code can sense or even monitor things from behind those claw marks. And the most likely scenario is that after Mamushi dies and Boruto brings the Togadama to Bug's place alone, Koji is certain that he will appear there right in front of him. After all, that location is highly advantageous for Code himself. There would be no intervention or assistance to help Boruto. And naturally, he wouldn't let that opportunity go to waste. Because even though the battle with Mamushi has significantly altered the course of destiny, as Koji mentioned earlier, among the many possible futures, that is the one that occurs most frequently. And if Boruto comes alone to where Bug is and Code appears, then broadly speaking, there are 3 possibilities according to Koji. The first is Code's death at Boruto's hands. Yeah, that's the most ideal option, especially since, according to Koji, the difficulty in tracking his location would have a massive impact if Boruto were to eliminate him at that opportunity. But unfortunately, the second possibility, Code escaping, has a very high probability. In other words, if he sees that his chances of defeating Boruto are very slim, then escaping is the most logical option. We must understand that ever since Chapter 1 of 2 Blue Vortex, the power gap between Code and Boruto has been quite significant. Code has no resources to enhance or even become stronger other than possessing the chakra fruit. So, given that he has no chance of winning, fleeing during the battle against Boruto is a very wise decision. But the worst case scenario after Code chooses to flee from that battle actually leads to the timeline we've seen in the past few chapters. In other words, after Code flees from there, he'll target Sarada and kidnap her to use as a bargaining chip. Simply put, Code knows that if Sarada is kidnapped and Boruto finds out, it'll lure Boruto into a trap to draw him out. As a result, Code will obtain the chakra fruit from Jura and Boruto will be killed. Yeah, that's at least the worst case scenario, though as fans, we're confident Boruto won't just die that easily, right? And regarding the potential outcome of that second possibility, Koji also sees another probability. Among them, Code betrays the divine tree and collaborates with Boruto. But whatever happens in the future and however significant that betrayal may be, Koji still warns Boruto never to waste the opportunity to kill Code, because the fewer factors that could disrupt the future, the better things will be moving forward. And it seems, whether this conversation is part of Koji's plan or not, it has at least delayed Togadama's return to Bug's location by a few seconds, or even minutes. But just as Boruto teleports, a very important scene appears in the middle. A toad resembling Koji's was seen talking to Kawaki. And yeah, that was Amado. Through that toad, Amado wanted Kawaki to head to the lab immediately because there was something he wanted to discuss. But before that, Boruto was now in the Jubi dimension, right where Bug was trapped inside the Shinju tree. And since Koji and Boruto had previously predicted the possibility that Code would appear, Boruto used Momoshiki's Byakugan to successfully uncover a claw mark behind the tree, which strongly suggests that Code is indeed there. And as we know, Boruto has indeed promised himself that he will save Sasuke, including everyone trapped in that tree. So it seems that no matter who it is, Boruto will save them. But because of that, Code actually thinks that Boruto is a hypocrite and a fool for helping a bug that he has no obligation to help. But before Code could truly attack Boruto, who was getting closer and closer to the tree, the scene shifts to a hospital where Sarada finally wakes up with a shocked expression. But unfortunately, even though we previously saw how Inojin was healed by Himawari and his eyes returned to normal, that wasn't the case for Sarada, because when she woke up and tried to see with her eyes, everything was blurry. And even when her mother gave her glasses, they didn't help at all. Everything remained completely blurry. Sarada's eye condition has truly deteriorated significantly. And since her mother has extensive knowledge about eyes, she told Sarada that she would go completely blind if she continued to use her eye powers constantly. But when Sarada fell silent for a moment and tried to explain, Sakura immediately took off her glasses and hugged her. Sakura knew that what her daughter was doing was exactly what she had once done herself. Sakura didn't even forbid Sarada from using that power. Instead, Sakura understood and fully realized that everything she did was of her own volition, because she wanted to protect something. Even though Sakura knew that Sarada wanted to be a source of strength for Boruto, Sakura truly supported Sarada rather than blaming her or anything like that. And as I said before, Sarada is truly just like her mother used to be, willing to sacrifice everything just for one man. But of course, Sumire's expression at this point didn't show any jealousy or anything like that. Instead, she seemed to understand Sarada's position. And that's not all. According to Sakura, Sarada is truly just like her father, and even her uncle Itachi. No matter how harshly the world judges them or their names, even when they have to bear the hatred alone, their hearts never change. The more the world hates them, the stronger they become in protecting the people they love. And in my opinion, the part that was so emotional and honest really moved me when Sakura declared that continue to believe in Sarada and her father no matter what happens. And yep, when Sakura was called by another medical ninja to check on another room, she shouted, "Shanaro!" and startled Sarada. But of course, Sarada knew that it was just a motivational phrase to keep her from giving up or something like that. Yeah, you know what I mean, right? And yep, the dialogue between Sarada and Sakura ended with a joke and even a confession of the real reason why everyone, especially Chocho, needs to realize that Boruto isn't what people think he is. Especially after that battle, Boruto truly fought for Konoha, and that's what Chocho is now convinced is the truth that must be acknowledged. And so, this is where things start to get exciting. Just as Boruto was about to approach that tree while activating Momoshiki's power, and at the exact moment he was about to place the Togodama on the tree, Code suddenly appeared and attacked Boruto from behind the tree. But unfortunately for Code, Boruto had already anticipated that. Just as Code was about to attack Boruto, he had already prepared Uzuhiko to target Code for the second time. But luckily, this time Code managed to survive. And if we go back to the 3 possible outcomes Koji predicted earlier, it turns out that option 2 came true. And even though at this point Boruto tried to provoke Code and get under his skin, even taunting him, Code didn't fall for it at all. Instead, Code fled through the claw marks. And in the end, Chapter 34 closes with a rotting Togodama, accompanied by smoke billowing from behind it. And of course, it's confirmed that Bug won't return ever again. He's truly dead. Boruto's good intentions end in vain, leaving him with an expression of disappointment. But even so, Koji reminds him that he doesn't need to feel guilty, especially since Bug wasn't a good person. At the very least, let the sight of a soul burning to ashes sink into your memory. Yeah, that's what Koji said. But once again, to find out where Code is headed and what he'll do next, we'll have to wait until next month. Thanks for watching. I'm Nim without the E. See you in the next video. Bye bye, Data Bio.